Starting a new job can be overwhelming, not to mention all the forms you have to fill out. You have probably heard of the W-4 form. It's one of the forms your employer will ask you to fill out on your first day of work. You need to complete a separate W-4 for each job you hold. The W-4 got a complete makeover in 2020 to reflect some recent changes to the tax law. Instead of claiming allowances, the new version of the W-4 includes a series of steps to help you estimate your tax withholding. Step 1 and 5 are mandatory and should be completed by everyone. For many people, this is all they will need to fill out. You should only complete steps 2 through 4 if they apply to you. They will help you adjust your withholding more accurately. Let's go through the new form together. In step 1, you simply fill out your personal details, including your name, address, and social security number. Then, check the appropriate box in section 3 that best describes your filing status. To claim head of household status, you must be legally single, pay more than half of the household expenses, and have either a qualified dependent living with you for at least half the year, or a parent for whom you pay more than half of their living expenses. You should complete step 2 only if you hold more than one job at a time, or you are married filing jointly and your spouse also works. You may check the box in option C if you and your spouse have a total of only 2 jobs. Remember to check the same box on the W-4 for the other job as well. This option works best if you expect to earn about the same amount from each job throughout the year. If one of the 2 jobs pays considerably less than the other, for instance, if it's part-time or seasonal work, you can use the multiple jobs worksheet on page 3 of the W-4 form and follow steps 1, 3, and 4 to get a more accurate withholding. Similarly, if you and your spouse have 3 or more jobs in total, follow steps 2 through 4. In both cases, once you have completed all the appropriate steps, you will enter the amount from line 4 of the multiple jobs worksheet in box 4C on the main page. Remember, you should only do this on the W-4 for the highest paying job to avoid having too much tax withheld. At any time, you can use the IRS tax withholding estimator to perform a paycheck checkup. This is especially helpful if you have multiple jobs or multiple sources of income. The online estimator will help you calculate the correct amount of tax that should be withheld from your paycheck. Steps 3 and 4 should be completed only if they apply to you. If you have multiple jobs, only complete steps 3 and 4 for the highest paying job. You can skip them when filling out the W-4s for any other job. Step 3 does not apply to everyone. If you have no dependents, you can skip this one. If you have qualifying dependents, such as minor children or other household members other than your spouse who rely on you financially, you can claim them here. You'll get a $2,000 deduction for each qualifying child and $500 for any other dependents. When you're done, add up the deductions and put the total amount in box 3 to reduce your tax withholding accordingly. Keep in mind that to qualify as a dependent, the child must be under the age of 17, live with you for more than half the year, and have a social security number. Step 4 is optional and will not apply to most people. Here, you can make additional adjustments to your withholdings. If you have any additional non-job related income for which taxes are not withheld throughout the year, such as income from investments, interest and dividend income, or rental income, you can choose to include it in box 4A to have those taxes withheld from your paycheck. You can choose to claim additional deductions on line 4B to reduce your withholding amount. Here, you can include things like student loan interest, qualifying IRA contributions, qualifying medical expenses, mortgage interest, and charitable contributions. You can use the deductions worksheet on page 3 of the W-4 form and follow steps 1 through 5 to check if you qualify for any of these additional deductions. If you do, you can enter the amount from line 5 on the deductions worksheet on line 4B on the main page. If for any reason you would like your employer to withhold any additional money, you can enter the exact dollar amount you would like to be withheld each pay period on line 4C. If you previously entered an amount on line 4C from the multiple jobs worksheet during step 2, you can add the two amounts together and show only the total on line 4C. Finally, sign and date at the bottom and return the completed form to your employer. The information on your W-4 form will help your employer calculate the appropriate payroll taxes to withhold from each paycheck. Try to be as accurate as you can. If your employer withholds too little tax, you will owe more tax to the IRS at the end of the year, and you may have to pay a penalty. If too much tax is withheld throughout the year, you will get a bigger refund when you file your taxes at the end of the year. You can make changes to your W-4 forms at any time if your tax situation changes in the future. For example, if you get married, get a second job, or gain a dependent. But for now, you're all set.